Okay, guys, so I've given you videos where I've talked about, I feel like I owe you guys a little bit of news. I've given you some videos talking about volcanoes. I've done videos about the natural disasters. I've done videos about the mass animal die offs, a lot of things that are going on. I have not talked to you guys about the asteroids. We've had a few close calls. To say they were close calls are an understatement. First, you have to understand how the measurement is. They measure in lunar distances. And what one lunar distance is from the surface of the Earth to the surface of the moon. That's a lunar distance. So when you get something that's less than a lunar distance, that means it passes between the Earth and the moon. That's all. I forget how far away from the moon where our atmosphere ends. But in a lot of cases, these are passing. If it's zero point 0.8 lunar distance or less, it's within our atmosphere. Um, Last year, we had one pass zero point 0.4 lunar distance. That's literally skimming through our atmosphere. That's close. That's abnormally close. We don't have stuff like this happen. Now, here lately, since 2016, we've had a lot of them that snuck up on us. All of a sudden, we didn't see this one coming. Shoot, shoots right by us. This has been happening a lot lately. There's a lot of asteroids flying through. NASA's not catching. So, but there are some that they do know about. What I want to do is I want to cover a short list. It's going to be July and August only, and it's only certain days. I'm going to start on the 10th of July. Basically, that's today on one part of the world because it's 11:15 here in Central Texas. So Central Standard Time, it's still June 9th. But most of the rest of the world's already in June 10th. And this just happened, and NASA did not see this one coming. Um, it was at 16:29. I don't know what time frame they're using. It's NN3 2019. It passed 0.83 lunar distances. It was within just at the edge of our atmosphere. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. It's a lot. Um, but that wasn't the only one. There were two others. NM5 2019 and NM4 2019. NM5 2019 also passed through today at 1501 with 2.12 lunar distances. And the NM4 was at 206. That is 8.96. These are literally just in the last few hours that these came through. 8.96 lunar distances. Now, expected flybys. These are expected, not what's probably going to come through also with these. I'm just going to go over a couple of them real quick to give you guys an idea because we know, NASA's looking hardcore and they know there's one big one coming in 2012. I've mentioned this one. I actually, many months ago, put up the post where they said this one has a high chance of hitting us. It's going to be so close. A couple months later, all of a sudden, NASA says, oh, that one's not going to hit us. It's the one in 2024 that's going to hit us. So in 2022, we're going to practice. But we can't go out there and we won't know if it worked until 2026, after the one in 2024. Anyway, it's all BS. We know that. But let's go over a couple of them that are going to come and what they're expected to do. So July 12th, 2019, KD3 is supposed to pass at 15.47 lunar distances. So that's outside the moon. Also on the 12th, NJ33 is going to pass 14.90, expected to. July 13th, MW1, 7.82 lunar distances. July 14th, NR3, 16.75 lunar distances. July 17th, NF1, 19.22 lunar distances. And July 19th, NJ2, 13.31 lunar distances. And finally, July 24th, HM10, 12.16 lunar distances. And it continues. July 26th, PK9, 8.20. July 27th, NT1, 18.96. July 29th, NN4, 6.65. August 10th, QQ23, 19.37, and we have them all the way through August, out into September, the beginning of September. And all of them are passing well outside of the moon, according to this list. Um, there is, oh, is this another list? That's another list, but I don't understand what they're showing me here. Okay, anyway, um, so there's a lot of asteroids that are passing close to us. And we know by the book of Revelations that there is supposed to be get off me, bug, a mountain burning with fire is going to be cast into the sea. Well, to me, that's either a volcano or it's a asteroid, because when it comes in the atmosphere, it's burning with fire, and it's big like a mountain. And it talks about all the things that it's going to do and the destruction that's going to cause. That's more like an asteroid in that description. It's going to be cast into it. We know by looking at these charts and looking at NASA, there's a lot of asteroids going around. There's a lot of asteroids coming very close to us, unnaturally close. And some of them are going by and we don't even see it until after it passes. They had one here 2 months ago, a month ago. They caught it with the observatories in Hawaii. It had already gone by. And they were like, this thing was like super close to us, like scary close. I think the one that passed zero point 0.4 lunar distances, they didn't see it till it passed. So they're not even seeing these things coming. So they've got all observatories trained on the incoming, trying to spot these things. And they're setting up early warning systems to let them know. But by their own admission, NASA said, if we did see one coming that was going to cause a problem and probably hit the Earth, we'd only have a day notice. So there's no preparation time. Even if they did see it coming, we wouldn't have time to do anything. They probably wouldn't have time to scramble anything to launch up there to blow it out of the sky or whatever. And they don't even know if they did launch something at it, if it would have any impact. Here a while back, they tried hitting one with a nuke, and they were filming it, and it didn't do anything. It just, nothing. Didn't move it. So they're doing experiments now. Evidently, if they're trying this, they know something is going to hit. They know we are on a collision course with one. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to do this. This isn't a preemptive strike. They know something's coming. And like I told before when I did that video talking about the one that they said had a high chance of hitting us in 2012, and a couple months later, they changed their story. I'm betting that that's probably the one that's going to hit, or not 2012, 2022. My guess is that's the one that's going to hit in 2022. That's actually going to make impact. That's a couple years away. So we don't know. We take what they tell us, try to discern as much information as we can out of it. But we can see it's every couple of days, sometimes multiple times a day, that something's passing very close to us. If it's even 1 or 2 lunar distances away, that's very close. That's out by the moon, not too far out from the moon. And any variables can change and cause the trajectory to alter. If 2 of them are coming in and they end up bumping each other, they could change direction. That could change one and put it right on a collision course with us. So the threat is there. We've never had this before. We've never had this kind of emergency before. We've never had this kind of activity like this before. Everything volcanic, earthquake especially, raging seas, tectonic movement, the animals, all the things they're doing. They found, I did a video talking about the 500 million bees just dead. They don't know what killed them. They just died. Was it somebody? I think Paul Begley was talking about flies in Egypt. This massive horde of flies come out of nowhere. They're still having problems with the locusts. And it's 4 kinds of locusts that eat everything down to the ground. And they're showing up. They're still in Mecca. But they're showing up in places where there's no green. Weird stuff. But what does this mean? When we see these things, it's telling us the times we were in. The times we are in. We were told that these things were going to happen. The book of Revelations gives us indicators on these things. We know just by this and the sudden uptake in change, we know that the time is short. It's just another sign that leads us to what's going on. We have a solar eclipse every day. Most of the time, those solar eclipses appear over the ocean and nobody sees it, or ships will see it, because that's how the orbits work. Well, we're starting to have solar eclipses over land bodies more often now than what we used to. Because I remember as a kid, we'd have a solar eclipse, and it would be another solar eclipse for 15 years. Now we're having solar eclipses every few years. So that's changed. Blood moons. The last time we had blood moons like this, it was when Israel became a nation in 1948. And now we're having it again, and it's even more. We're about to have another one. It's going to be over Israel. So things are changing. Everything is changing and adjusting. Now, obviously, things are always in a state of flux. Things fluctuate. Things change. But to this level, because I don't ever remember in the past this much stuff going on, this many changes going on, this many things being discovered. And I'm talking overall, not just one particular thing. So it's pretty telling. And like on the animal die-offs, in tonnage, not in individual numbers, in tonnage, that's a lot. This is land and water-based. So stuff's dying. The world's changing. Things are changing. We know now that, and of course they've buried the story, buried the information. But we know now, and this is by everyone's admittance that monitors these things, that our poles are shifting. We're literally in a state of shifting poles. The North Pole is traveling towards Siberia at, 55 miles a year? It's moving so fast, actually, that they've had to go and update all the maps and the GPSs 2 years early than anticipated, because it's picking up speed. So, and we see the changes happening in the oceans. Things are sloshing. We've got weird tidal surges going on. Here a while back, a couple months ago, they just had a 50-foot wave just come out of nowhere, start hitting all these coastlines. Florida got hit, swept across. Just weird stuff happening. So it's just another sign. There you are. It's another indicator. Got here. That we're in those end times. It's just another marker on the list of things that we are supposed to be watching for, and that Jesus told us to watch for. So keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes on the skies. Watch the obscure news reports. We're not going to get this from mainstream media. We're not going to get any of this from any kind of mainstream news source. The only place we're going to get it is people who are finding it and putting it out. Like Yellowstone, Mary Greeley's channel. Highly recommend going to her channel. Links in the description. Watch her. See what she puts out, because there's a lot of activity going on that nobody is talking about other than her. Maybe one other person is mentioning it on a YouTube channel, but it's very rare and obscure. She's the only person I found that is going into great detail what's happening there. They just had melted quartz crystal come up out of there. It takes over 1,600 degrees to melt that. That hot water isn't at 1,600 degrees. So long before it hits that, it turns to steam. So it won't come out water, it'll come out steam. But here we have this. Well, what's 1,600 degrees? Magma. So that's an indicator that something's wrong there. It's an indicator something's going on, because every volcano eruption, when you look at the details, they find melted crystals. Indicators, guys, signs in the heavens, earth shaking, everything shaking. All indicators, all markers as to what we're seeing going on. So be diligent, stay faithful. Don't let this scare you, let this excite you, because we know with these things coming, Jesus said, look up, because your redemption is nigh unto you. So we know the time is about to end. Be blessed in Jesus' name. I bless you all in Jesus' name, and I'll see you in the next video.